Okay, so this is the first question that we're going to go through. So we're looking at how many grams of silver chloride can be precipitated out of a reaction between silver nitrate and potassium chloride. Now we know several things, but first, before we even think about what we know, we need to write a balanced equation, okay? So that's the first step. So we've got our silver nitrate plus our potassium chloride, which goes to create our silver chloride plus our potassium nitrate. Now this equation is balanced, so we can now move on to the second step, which is what do we know? Now these two equations over here are the equations that you are going to need to work out how many grams of silver chloride can be precipitated from a reaction between silver nitrate and potassium chloride. What we know so far, if we look at our reactants, is our silver nitrate. We know the volume of our silver nitrate, which is 0.045 liters. We also know that our concentration of silver nitrate is 1.5 mole. Okay, now what we don't know is the next step. Okay, so what don't we know? What we don't know is we don't know how many grams of potassium chloride. Now to work out grams, we know if this is the equation that we would use to work out how many grams of silver chloride we would need. Now, this is the we need this number here. That's what we're trying to find out. Now we can rearrange this equation to work that out. But first, we know what moles are, we know the molecular weight, but we don't know the moles. We can use this equation C equals N over V to work out moles to then be able to use this equation to work out how many grams of silver chloride would be precipitated out. So in that case, we need to start with this equation here to then move over to this equation, which is then going to give us our answer of how many grams of silver chloride is formed between a reaction between silver nitrate and potassium chloride. So that is what we need to start out with. So we don't know what the mass is, okay? And that's what we need to find out. So the first thing that we can do is we can work out the moles, how many moles in silver chloride. All right, so that's the first step that we're in silver nitrate. So that's the first thing we'll do is we're going to start with silver nitrate. And the reason why we're going to start with silver nitrate is because if we're looking at the mole ratio, we need to work out how many moles of silver nitrate makes silver chloride. So if we can work out silver nitrate first, because we have all the information for silver nitrate, we can then work out how much silver chloride we need. So for our silver nitrate, we would use the equation C over N over V. Now we know what C is, that's our concentration, which is 1.5, right? Now we don't know N, but we also know volume, which is 0.045. We then move that over to the other side, so we're rearranging our equation so that we have 0.045 times by 1.5 equals N. So N equals 0.0675 moles, okay? Now, we use what we call our mole ratio to work out what's going on next, okay? Because like we learnt this week, if we work out how many moles of the reactant we need yes, how many moles we need of the reactant to then create the product. So if our mole ratio is N, so our moles of sodium chloride, sorry, silver chloride, which equals our moles of silver nitrate. Okay, so that is our mole ratio. Now, if we have a look at our balanced equation, and that's how we work out the mole ratio, we can see here in our balanced equation that one compound, one mole of silver nitrate is going to produce 1 mole of silver chloride. So we have a mole ratio of 1 to 1, or 1 over 1. Therefore, if we know that it takes 0.0675 moles of your sodium nitrate, which is this number here, it's therefore going to take the exact same number of moles of silver chloride. So now we now know that it takes 0.067 moles of silver chloride. Now that we know N, we can use this equation here to then work out the mass in grams. So N equals M, mass over molar mass or molar weight. So we know N, which is 0.0675, equals mass, which is what we're trying to work out, over the molar mass. Now the molar mass is just the atomic weights added up together. Our atomic weights is just the weight of silver and chloride. So that's 107.9 plus 35.45. So it's 0.0675 equals M over 143.35. We rearrange this equation by moving this over here so that all we're left with is M equals 143.35 times 0.0675. So M equals 9.68 grams. And there you have it. That is how we work out how many grams of silver chloride is precipitated from a reaction between silver nitrate and potassium chloride.